Hi traders, welcome to this video where we get to explain how to use the DASTCI professional spreadsheet, which you can use for your back test, your forward testing, and your live trades as well. Now we're going to use the back test to explain this because the back test is usually the most tedious aspect, because it's from back testing you get to know whether your strategy is actually worth forward testing or for you to use for a live trade, right? So we're going to use that back testing to explain this video so it becomes very easy. Now, when you receive the DASTCI spreadsheet, more often than not, what you're going to get is the locked spreadsheet, which means that all these aspects here are locked. You can't actually click on them. Now, if you have the modifiable spreadsheet, you'll be able to click on this to be able to edit the formulas. The formulas will pop up here. We'll talk about that a little more later. But for now, I want to explain how to use this spreadsheet and what it stands for. Now, on this right column here, you have the average pips one, your average stop loss. Of course, as a professional trader, you need to set a stop loss for your order. So what this particular column does is to calculate the average of your overall stop loss. Now, from the computation, it's also going to determine your average reward to risk ratio. So the average reward to risk ratio that you use, and you'll be able to confirm if it's correct based on how you're also placing your trades in the particular exchange you're trading. More on that later. Here you also get to see the calculation of the total pips, the total trades, the total wins from your total trades, the winning percentage of that particular strategy, because obviously this is to backtest a strategy, the total dollars that you've made, and the starting balance. Here you can input your starting balance, your risk percentage per position, the total percentage gain, the total percentage loss, the max drawdown, that is the period or the percentage of the highest point of your losses. Then P&L here starts for profits and loss, the percentage of your P&L, then your total losses in dollars, your total losses of trades rather, sorry, and then your total losses in dollars. So those are the basic major ones you need to understand. And what it does is, let me say, for example, from your total trades, you've made maybe about $333, but you've lost maybe about let's say $80 or something like that, thereabout. So that means that it's going to show you as $80, even though you've made $333. So, but now you want to remove your total loss from the total dollars that you've made. So where you're going to actually see how much you have is right here, where you have the total P&L in dollars, because these already will do that subtraction for you. And here you're going to have your account balance as well. For each time you place, you're going to have the percentage of the loss and the overall return on investment strategy for that particular pair. So let's say you have maybe over at this particular aspect. Okay, let's say you have a strategy that has a winning percentage of maybe 70%, and the total loss percentage is maybe 30%. Now, that means that your ROI is going to be 70 minus 30, which would give you a 40% ROI for that strategy. Okay, so, and we do recommend trading over 100 pairs, as you know by now, because that is when you can have a more accurate ROI percentage strategy that you know, okay, this based on historical data, this is the probabilities that this strategy can give me this percentage is high because I've backtested it. And this is the percentage ROI I can be expecting over 100 trades using this particular trading strategy. So now let's get down to it. When you want to start using this spreadsheet, you first need to input your starting balance. So let me just type like $500 here. And also the risk percentage per position, how much you want to be risking per trade. Normally, professional traders are not supposed to risk more than between 1 to 2% per position, and overall of 10% for their maximum exposure. Now that is another class entirely, but for this particular video, I want to just discuss how to use this spreadsheet. So I'm just going to type 1% here All right. Now, the next thing for us to do is to head over to our particular trading platform so we can know how to input data from there here, and then I can translate it to you and how this computation is done. So let's head over to trading view. So I'm here on trading view, and we have been back testing actually on the GRT USDT trading pair. As you can see, we've placed some trades, which we then marked with the green vertical line to denote that, okay, this the time we traded the strategy, we made a profit, we made a gain, and the times we didn't, we made a loss. Now, if I should squeeze this, you would actually see more what I'm talking about. If I should squeeze this and move it over here. So you can see that we have both green vertical lines when the strategy gave us a profit, and we have red vertical lines when the strategy gave us a loss. Now, I suggest you also do that so that it's easy for you to understand how to quickly get back to the point in historical data where you executed that back test. But for us to know how to input some of these trades into the spreadsheet, what you want to do is, once you've placed your position tool properly, and you can then see this. I mean, if you don't have to place a position tool on trading view, you just come over here and then you pick a position to whether you want a long position or a short position. I start it as one of my favorites so that I can just have easy access to it here. So let's say I want to place a long position. I just come over here, click on it, and then adjust it to wherever I want it to be on the chart, maybe in relation to a particular candlestick. And then it pops up and then shows me the target. I can adjust this target to wherever I want it to be, whether I want a 0.89 reward to risk ratio, or if I want a 1.7 reward to risk ratio. And then I can also adjust my stop loss as well. Now, after you've placed the position tool, what you want to do is then look at the target and your stop loss. So your stop loss here is 18, and our reward to risk ratio is 1.4. Our target is 25. Obviously, the last number is not really a pip, it's more like a week, so we don't actually calculate that. Now, the target is 25, and the stop loss here is 18. So you're going to head back to the spreadsheet. Not forget our reward to risk ratio here is 1.4. So with an 18 pip stop loss and a 25 pip target. Now, going to the spreadsheet to input this data. Our stop loss we have here is 18. And we have 25. Okay, so as you can see, the spreadsheet has already done some calculations for us. On this particular trade, we've made a profit of $6.94, and we've made no losses so far. Our equity, we started with $500. Our equity already is $506, which means that this is how much we have at the moment. The P&L percentage is 1.4%, which means that we've made 1.4% of our trading capital. Now, this has given us an average of the reward to risk ratio approximately at 1.4 as well, because what we're seeing here is 1.38, which is approximately 1.4 as well, which is what was in trading view as well. Now, the other things you might want to understand is the cumulative. The cumulative simply refers to the profit on that particular trade. So for each particular trade, for this particular trade, you've made a cumulative of 6.94444 in so many places. Now, this is the P&L percentage. And so for the drawdown, we always disregard this very first number. Otherwise, it's going to affect the overall computation. So it is from the second digit that you then start looking at the drawdown. Now, let me explain again and give an example. Let's say we placed another trade and our stop loss was maybe 34, and our stop loss hits our risk management. That means that maybe it was a losing trade. So we are going to put minus 34 here. And because our reward to risk is 1%, that means we're risking just 1% per position. This is going to show as 1% of $500 as $5. That means that you've controlled your loss to just lose only 1% of your trading position, which is what I would recommend you do. So our equity right now is going to be 501 because we lost $5 and our previous equity was $6 that we made. Then the drawdown here is minus 1% because we actually lost 1% of the total capital. Now, as you can see, this is highlighted in red because it's a loss. This is actually not highlighted in red because it's not a loss. So your drawdown is going to be more of the red color because it's going to be signifying the losses you made. Now, I'm going to explain why I said you should disregard this very first column. Let's say, for example, our next trade then gives us a profit. Let's say our stop loss was 43 and our position was maybe 72. Then we made an $8 profit. You can see that right here. It is not showing us the percentage as it did here. Where we get the actual P&L percentage is on this particular column. This is only going to show us when we've made a loss. So from the second column downward, you're going to be seeing whether you have a drawdown or you don't have a drawdown. So for the first one here, we have a 1.0% drawdown. Here we don't have a drawdown at all. We made a profit, so you have 0.0%. We just disregard this first column because it helps us do the proper computation for the rest of these aspects, and that applies only to the drawdown aspect of this spreadsheet. Now, if you look up here, you can see that you've made a total of $15, but it is not showing in the balance of your equity because this is how much you've made so far, but you lost $5 here. So that is why your equity is just showing $510. Now, where you get to see your total losses is going to be over here, which means you lost $5. The total dollar loss here is $5. So your equity is going to be the 506. Your equity is going to be the amount you made, which is going to remove both the profit and the loss that you made on those trades so far. So we've shown you an example. I've shown you an example of how to input data into this. Now, the way I backtest, for example, is I go to my trading view. Now you can see that I backtested this particular strategy. I've been backtesting this strategy a while on this particular trading pair. This is actually not part of my backtest. So let's just delete that. So yeah, I backtested this. I'm backtesting a strategy basically, and as you can see, what I do is I put a vertical line on that particular entry. On my particular entry, I entered here on this particular candlestick was when I then entered this position. So I placed a vertical line, which denoted that this actually gave me a profit. So that's why the vertical line is in green color. If it was a loss, it would have been in red color. Now, once you place that vertical line there, it would automatically bring out the day and the date and time in which this trade was executed. So you can input it into the spreadsheet. So here we have the 4th of September 2022 at 9 UTC. So we're going to head over to the spreadsheet to input the 4th of September 2022. Pair is GRT/USDT. The time here is 9 UTC. And the date here is 4th of September 2022. And there you go. You have it easily configured. So what you do is you always place a vertical line on the trading charts, whichever trading chart you're using, to be able to denote. And it's always easier for you to go back to that particular time and see when you place that trade on historical data in case you want to cross check, or optimize your strategy, because after backtesting obviously comes optimization. So here our average reward to risk ratio has been calculated for us. The total pips we've traded in 3 trades here is 63. Total trades is 3, of which we've won 2 trades. The strategy winning percentage is 67%. We've made a total of $15. This was our starting capital and our risk per position. The total percentage gain overall is 3.1% of our trading capital. So our total losses here, we've lost 1 trade, obviously, because I have 3 trades here and only 1 trade is in red. So we've lost just 1 trade. Our max drawdown has been 1.0%, in which we lost this particular trade. Our total P&L percentage, that means our profit and loss percentage, is 2.1%. Our total dollar loss is $5. And the average P&L we're making per trade is definitely around $3.44. Now, the total P&L we've made is all this added up. So we've made $8 plus $6 plus that's 14, with all these points going to give us 15, minus this time we lost this trade, which is $5. So that would give us $18.32 as our present P&L, which would then be added to our account balance to give us our present account balance. Now, our loss percentage for those 3 trades is 33.33%. This is basically how to use a backtest strategy. Now, I want to explain how to create an equity curve or a drawdown curve using the data that you must have imputed here. What you want to do when you want to create an equity curve is to click on this, just click on this right here and highlight everything in that particular aspect. Then you come to insert and look for the charts option. I'm looking for a normal line chart. So I come here, click on line chart and click on OK. So that's it. You have your equity curve. This is showing you the drawdowns. You made it an high here, then you lost, you made some losses, you made another high, you made some losses, and then it's actually increasing. So overall, your equity curve is actually going up, and you can customize this equity curve whichever way you want. You can add some color to it or give it a particular design or whatsoever. Now, this equity curve is always very important for you, especially when you are presenting these data to maybe organizational bodies, or you just need to be able to use it to include in your financial statements or something like that. So you can also create a drawdown curve by just clicking on the drawdown aspect. You can create any type of curve, your peak curve or P&L percentage curve based on this particular data right here. So that's it for how to use this spreadsheet. And for those who might be interested in the modifiable version, because they might want to be able to include some other things into the formula or into the functions, we can also give you access to that. Now, before I go, I want to explain that you can actually edit this particular spreadsheet by coming over here to input whatever detail you want to input. So let's say you're back testing a strategy and you want to see if it can give you more than a 1.4 reward to risk ratio. You can just come here and click. Maybe you're looking for a 2.1 reward to risk ratio. And if this trade could have given you 1, you can click Y for yes. If this one could have not given you 1, you click N for no, and things like that. So you can also impute your strategy here, impute the rules for your strategy. Maybe you want to see RSI divergence on the trade before you enter. You can actually click on that, then reduce the font size so that you can actually see what it is that you're imputing there. So there's a lot of ways to actually play around the spreadsheet and customize it to whichever one you want or anything like that. So if you have any further questions, just let me know and I'll be more than willing to help you trash it out and explain it as well. I hope this video has helped you clarify how to use the spreadsheet, and I wish you success in your trades. Do not forget to always backtest before you actually go live with a trading strategy. This has already shown you how you can actually backtest on any trading pair or any commodity out there. So, however, this spreadsheet only works with a single position. As you can see, it's just one position. The calculations for a double position will be different. And so if you want a spreadsheet that will calculate double positions for you, then you can as well request for it and you would have it as well. Although, I mean, these spreadsheets are for sale. So the thing is, if you want to calculate a double position, you cannot just say, oh, after all, I've seen all the data for this and then I just multiply it by 2. Let's say, for example, you open a double position and your first position, maybe your profit was at 57%, I was at 57 pips. Your second position, if it's a 2.1 reward to risk ratio, definitely it cannot give you 57 times 2. It will be somewhere maybe around 76, thereabouts. And your stop loss might have been the same 43 as well. So, which would give you a cumulative profit of $8.84. But this is just a single position. Okay, so your double position would have to be this and this plus another stop loss position for the second position and the target position for the second position. So this would actually be total of 4 columns right here. And the calculation for that is also different. It will also affect the overall average reward to risk ratio. It will also affect the total trades, your total wins, your total losses. It will affect everything. So you can't just use this and then multiply it by 2 because you're saying you're opening a double position. The pips target for that is always different and all. And for those who might be confused since they are trading on Binance and all, this works across all different exchanges. You can use it across all different exchanges. What I do is if I want to place trades on Binance, I first come to TradingView to plot my chart, and then once I've plotted the chart, what I then do is I go to Binance to place the trades. Now, in Binance, you cannot actually place trades on all these peeps and stops like that. So what I just do is I place a line on it, or I simply place an horizontal line on that particular aspect and trace it to the price. Okay, so the price here is what I then use to enter the trade. Let's say, but I want to enter where this particular position to is. I'm going to be entering on Binance or Bybit or whatsoever within this particular price and tell you to sell for me at this particular price if I'm opening a long position. Or I can tell it to do otherwise if I'm opening a short position as well. But for you to understand the calculations, pips, all of that, because you need all of that for back testing, forward testing, and creating your equity curve, it's always best to chart on a very good trading platform. So that is it for today. We'll have more videos explaining other aspects of this later on. I hope this video has been able to help you to some extent on how to use the charts, the DASTCI spreadsheet. And if you have any questions, always feel free to ask me. Thanks and take care.